What is up, dudes? Jordy, sorry for the delay. There was an update for the plane, so I had to download all that stuff. So, this is also going to be a test to see how the update is. This is the Flight Factor 767. It's one of the biggest planes that I own, and I typically fly the freighter version because I don't feel like... It seems reasonable to fly 400 nautical miles in a jumbo jet if you're flying freight, right? So we're in Albuquerque, Sunport, New Mexico, and we're going to fly up to Salt Lake City because I like the arrival, I like the mountains. We are in a DHL Yellow Boy today. How do you get the scene? Well, this is a payware airport by Mr. X, who's kind of famous on the forums, I guess. And then the region around it is all its ortho photography with the region. So the airport is payware, and all of this is free scenery that's just orthographic photos. Lots of questions, that's fine. So I haven't done anything. The cockpit is completely cold and dark. The GPU is connected down here, which is how we're going to get our power. And though it's a 767, not a 737, it's a Boeing, so a lot of the procedures are essentially the same. So the first thing we'll do, come up here, get the battery on, switch to standby power to auto. On the 737, you can just switch the battery guard closed, and that'll establish battery power. And then get our position lights. So we want the nav yellow and red lights and the logo lights on the tail. So you can see the wingtip lights are on now. Green on this side and red on the other. It's also a tail flood, but it's still daytime, so it's not really a big deal. Then on the overhead, I'm going to try to become a pilot. I'm actually leaving here to go to flight school. This is the IRS, the inertial something system. Switch these to nav, past align. Oh, I get power on the bus. External power on bus ties, utility bus. It's a little bit easier on the 737 actually. Double check we're aligning up there. Then on the FMC to align your GPS, go to Position Initialization. So on this page, our reference airport is Albuquerque, Kilo Alpha Bravo, Quebec. Reference airport, and then you get a latitude and longitude. Copy this into your scratch pad and then click it down here. And this gives the IRS system a point to align on. And we will get our weather, see which runway we're using for departure.
Kilo Alpha Bravo Quebec Airport information. Echo 2252 Zulu weather wind 022 at 10 gusting to 21 visibility 10 sky condition 9000 scattered 6000 scattered temperature 2.8 altimeter 3013 advise on initial contact you have information Echo
Echo. So then you would contact clearance delivery
Kilo Alpha
and you tell them Delta or what were we DHL such and such with information Echo. So our clearance delivery is 119.2. Scooter, thanks to follow. Dying to get a Boeing. Well, check out the Zebo. It is an amazing free airplane.
351. Yes, sir. It is in the works.
So clearance delivery there. We'll wait for a transponder code.
Okay, don't hurry.
And
That's
then
fine.
ground control 121 at 9.
If you want to just give me a call back when you're ready, then 5 minutes.
Jordy, did you get? Are you using the default 737 or the Zebo? This is what we're flying today. Boeing Chubby Boy. Alright, well, hang on a second. Let me get you... I sent you the Zebo link download yesterday, didn't I?
7 departure, flight plan route, squawk code 2010.
Squawk 2010 with A964.
Retard.
Melon's back. Oh yeah, okay. So get the Zebo. It's much improved. It's actually probably the best airline or tube liner for X-plane, in my opinion. And I've got a few of them. Guys, transponder code. I need 4 numbers below 7. At or below 7.
There's a Nipway, good day, Takeoff, Charlie, November.
Flight factor, yeah, this is the 767. There was just an update for it this morning, so figured getting here to try it out. 8888, you blew that. You couldn't have blown that any worse. I'll just take theirs. 3312. Thanks. 3, 3, 1, 2. Read back correct. Over to ground, and I'll get tower on standby. Tower is 123.
Quebec, Charlie.
Altimeter 3013.
Left on Charlie, apron 5.
Quebec Charlie, taxi yes of 13 left on Charlie to apron 4.
There we go. And let's see, wind is 022 at 10, gusting 21. So we'll take the runway that's right behind us, which is 03. That's easy. Let's see what the weather is doing in Salt Lake City.
Altimeter 2970, taxi whiskey, Foxtrot, cross 25.
We're going to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City right now.
Hey, runway 18.
Wind's 320 at 8. So we'll do the 34. We'll do 34 right for arrival. So this is the fun part. Well, obviously being a little sarcastic. Route, Origin Airport, Albuquerque, and we're going to Salt Lake City, which is Kilo Sierra Lima Charlie.
Hold short, runway 13.
We're going to go to the next page, and we're going to put in the fixes, VORs, NDBs in between first. So our departure is the Largo 3. So I'm looking on the flight plan, and everything after Largo 3 we're going to put in manually. So the first one is Bedrock, Bravo Delta, Romeo Oscar Charlie. Then we're going to get on the J1 Juliet 15 Airway over here. From Bedrock to Cincy, Sierra India November Sierra Yankee.
Ground, good morning, West 831 for...
And we got a VOR,
Western 831, ground taxi.
Juliet
Victor,
November
apron
Charlie,
Vector for the apron, West 831.
and Riffman, Romeo India Foxtrots, Mike November. Last one, we're going to get on the Juliet 1-2 Airway to Helper.
Delta Mike Extra Ground, runway 18, altimeter 2970, taxi hotel, Foxtrot, cross 25, and then via Tango for runway 18.
And then we're on the arrival. So this is basically our route that we've got on the FMC. Then we're going to go to departures page, click departure side next to Albuquerque, because that's where we're leaving from. We're going to take runway 03. Our departure is the Largo 3, and the transition is going to be Romeo Sierra Kilo. Back to the departures and arrivals page. This time for Salt Lake City on the arrival, we're going to do the ILS 34 right.
Ground, red 5.
Red 5, ground.
And our arrival is the
Apron 1.
Spain
Red 5,
7
proceed on Charlie, hold short, runway 31.
via Helper, which we've already got in there. I'm not going to do a transition because we're basically going to be flying straight in because we're coming from the south. Back to the route, activate, and then down here this button lit up, we'll hit execute, and that sends the flight plan to our PFD down here. Well, yeah, look, it takes some time. You'll be fine. So the bottom display, primary flight display, we've got a map down there. We're going to switch this over to plan. And then we can go to the legs page and we'll step through to make sure there are no discontinuities.
For departure, apron 2, we have Canadian North tow coming in.
900, give way to the Canadian North under tow, runway 02, altimeter 2969er, taxi Bravo, tower 1183.
So right here, you can see between Riffman and Helper, there's this block. It's a route discontinuity. We can't have any of those in the flight plan for the LNAV and the VNAV, like the autopilot, to work properly.
Alpha,
So click helper. You see it comes down into the scratch pad and just copy it into the squares there. Then execute. That'll fix the break there, and we'll keep stepping through here. Got another one. Copy, paste, execute. And that's the final approach. So we're basically just going to fly straight into runway 34. That's pretty easy.
South Bunny Tech 560 at executive, ready for taxi.
I do speak gibberish on the reg. Oh, okay. We need to do our weight and balance and stuff here.
Alpha 183 short, glide distance.
So let's see. I need a 0 fuel weight of 284,760 pounds.
Ground launch at 1485, Alpha 4 short Alpha for 70.
Mission
See what that gets us,
1485, Roger.
256.
Continue holding short of Alpha. There's traffic could be right to left in front and Embraer. The United, you see them?
Yeah, we got it.
Mission 1485, thanks. Behind him, cross Alpha Oscar.
Alpha and Oscar 8 behind the Embraer West at 1485.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how far actually flight simming gets you in real flight school soon. Alright, so 0 fuel weight now with 7 pallets is 266,000. And what do I need? 284.
Hardcore 3274. Ground runway 02, wind, calm, altimeter 29er, 69er, taxi Quebec Alpha, contact tower 1183, holding short.
So we need 18,160 more pounds. Perfect. Optimize center of gravity there. And fuel weight, we need 25,501 pounds. We're going to round that up to 25,600 pounds. Start loading the plane. So for the initialization, the performance page, I need to wait for the plane to load.
Jazz 149 ground, push.
Put a couple other things in there.
Push that special
Yeah, I'll probably be doing this until I leave, and then I'm not going to stream for a while because I got to mail my computer home and buy a new power supply for it.
Ground was at 14.
So it'll be a while before I'm streaming again after the 27th.
1447, taxi Alpha Alpha Delta.
Reserve fuel, 8.3 tons. Cruise altitude, 360. Cost index, 25. Yeah, I don't want to think about it right now. Might just take it to somebody and be like, fix it.
Continue the taxi runway
Cost
02
index,
Charlie Alpha,
100.
altimeter 29er, 69er, contact tower 1183, holding short.
Oh, trust me, there will be sufficient fuel, friends.
Okay, WestJet's coming in Alpha Delta if you missed that.
So in the Zebo, the fuel is going to be on the top display in the middle. You'll see like 3 circles on the bottom of it. In this plane, it's up on the overhead. So here's our fuel pumps. We'll get those on. Nothing in the center tanks. Totally running off of savings. My goal is to just get through private license and an instrument rating and see where I'm at. Might have to get a job after that. Don't know how I feel about the yellow and red. Not my favorite. Might do. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've got a decent amount of money saved up, obviously, but I'm going to be living with my family for a few months when I go back, so I don't have that to worry about. I've already got a car lined up. So a lot of the expenses I thought I was going to incur, I don't really have to worry about at the moment, thankfully. Right now I'm in Korea, but I'm moving back to the States. I'm an American. I've just been living here for the last 10 years. Teaching English.
Up to out ground, medevac 9099, we're clear.
Korea's awesome. A little warm these days.
Medevac 909, ground 680, Romeo 2 ship.
Yeah, Romeo 2 shell, 9099.
I think we're done loading. Alright, now we can... Oh, nope. They tricked me.
Western 165 ground, runway 2.
So this top panel in the middle is for autopilot.
Alpha Bravo, and call tower 1183
See, I
holding
can
short.
set
You'll
this
be
stuff up.
following
Our
by
runway
Air Canada
heading.
Airbus, just behind you now on Alpha.
Okay, we checked 2949 runway 20 via Oscar Alpha Bravo behind Airbus Westjet 165.
Departure runway heading is 036 degrees. And we'll just go straight to our cruise altitude, which is 36,000 feet.
Western 912 into ground, runway 20.
Alright, now we're done loading, so I can finish the performance page. Ground weight, 0 fuel weight, automatically in there, 284.7.
Oscar Alpha and Bravo, and call tower
Takeoff.
113 holding short.
Okay,
Go
check up
flaps.
on the left, Oscar Alpha Bravo, you can feel sure Westjet 912.
Let's do flaps 15, kind of heavy. Thrust D rate 40 degrees, center of gravity.
Jazz 384 ground, and you'll be following your company ahead there. They're Victor, just short of Bravo. Follow
So
that
based on
follow.
the center of gravity we got
Bravo
here, I need to
20,
have the
call
takeoff
tower
stabilizer
113
trim at
short. November's
3.8,
available to you
which
too if
is
you want
next
it. There's
to
8,100 feet
our
available
throttle
on the
quadrant. So 3.8 down here.
Okay, we checked, we'll follow company. We'll take full length for now, get back to Jazz 384.
Jazz 384 full length. Okay, check that.
Probably help if I had the hydraulic pumps on for that. Now she's working.
Ground, Air Canada 165 with you exiting Alpha 4.
Air Canada 165, Edmonton ground. Good day. Taxi across Alpha to Oscar for the ramp.
Alpha, Oscar to the ramp, Air Canada. 165.
Important thing in the tubes is cabin pressurization. So the first thing you have to do, basically the same in the Zebo. You don't have to adjust this. You have to turn these to auto in the 767, but these will already be in the on position. Turn your trim air on. Recirc fans on. Packs on auto. And isolation valves. APU bleed will be the first one that we get on. And our landing altitude in Salt Lake City is 4,200 feet.
Ground, Chinook 678, apron 2, ready for taxi.
Chinook 678 up to ground, runway 20.
Switch that to auto.
240 with 11, altimeter is 2949. Taxi out via Bravo and call tower 1183, holding short.
He's Dutch.
Taxi out by Bravo 183, holding short.
Maybe the Dutch are polite as well. Back down here to our performance page. Runway winds 022 at 10. So outside temperature
Ground, good day, transport.
31. Jace.
November for
Toasty here.
Transport 988 up to ground, good afternoon, and Taxi Bravo to Sierra for the executive.
These are your V speeds for takeoff now based on the weight that we have in the computer. So V1, anything that occurs before V1 failure-wise, you would abort the takeoff. After V rotate, you have to take off. Or after V1, you'd have to take off. V rotate is where you actually pull back on the throttle. And V2 is your engine out safe climb speed. So we're at 145, which is automatically in the MCP. Turn your flight directors on. And LNAV and VNAV both working, which means your flight plan is all good. Talking about me, I'm not polite to everybody. Just you, baby. Basically ready to go. Flight plan's in, MCP is set. Let's get out of here. If you don't have it already, Jordy, you want better pushback. This is the best way to do this. So we're going to go push back right here. Oops.
Ground horizon 2542 is clear over 30 Alpha 2, parking.
Try that again.
Ground to cockpit.
There we go.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Will do. Let me get this on the legs page, so you can go direct to wherever. And this one I want on climb for performance. Actually, put it on takeoff for now. There we go, so I can see the V speeds and whatnot. Start up our APU. Fuel pumps are on. There's nothing in the center tank, so we don't need to turn those ones on. Click start, and we should hear it firing up. See the heat. You can hear the air conditioning working now.
Stand by, Bravo, for 547.
Down on this page, you can see the APU EGT is at 640 and RPM is at 100, so we should have the APU available, which we do. So we're going to click that on, turn off the GPU. That clicks over. So now we're completely on airplane power. I can disconnect the ground power unit.
Taxi via Bravo. Contact Charlie Short on 1183.
Bravo to the end.
Get rid of the ground power. Fuel truck can go. Loader unit can go. Chocks can come off, and the stairs can go away. See ya. The blue and brown thing in the dashboard, where are you talking about?
Concord 3140 ground, runway 20, taxi via Victor Bravo, contact tower holding short.
Are you talking about the flight displays, like the computer?
Contact tower holding short, Concord 3140, and we can take November if that works. 3140 November Spur.
The one above the joystick. These guys right here. G-Breaker, how you doing, buddy?
FedEx 121 Heavy, you have information.
Yeah, these are your primary flight displays. The top one is your artificial horizon. The magenta arrow is the flight director. It shows you where you need to point the plane. And then the black one below it is the plane's actual attitude. So you're basically just going to use the yoke to get the bottom black one into the magenta one, which you'll see on takeoff. It shows you what you've got armed. So VNAV and LNAV are armed, but right now the green ones, which are active, are for takeoff, because that's the next part of our flight. And the bottom one is a map, basically. The magenta line is the flight plan that we've loaded into the computer. Man, I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. Flying your little baby today. 767. It's been a while.
There's hello, it's Air Canada 174. We have information, Quebec. And we have two.
Alright, we're ready for pushback. So we're going to turn on the red anti-collision light.
He is correct, and it is Romeo now.
The throttle, well, if you look at the MFD down here, you can see the top function shows your engine output. So you can control, right where it says total air temperature, 31 degrees, the top two are engine output. So 10 is 100%. So you can control the percent output by looking at that thing. Yeah, I always fly the freighter version because I don't really do long hauls. I usually fly like about 400 miles. And it doesn't feel weird to do that in the 767 freighter.
21 Heavy, taxi with Romeo to Delta Fox.
Alright, our red, double check, red anti-collision is on, and we'll call pushback fellas.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
No, so what we're going to do, we're going to use auto throttle. So when we're ready to take off, we're going to click the AT arm switch up, and then we're going to click the throttle button right below it, and that will arm auto throttle for the whole flight. I'll turn it off on final approach and control it manually. On the 737, on the right side of the glare shield, there's a button that says mic, or MIC, and that turns on the auto throttle as well. So you can hit that or the N1 button to control it. Nice. You going on vacation? Jordy G-Breaker is Dutch too, right? You're from Netherlands.
59 in the corral, ready for the push to start.
Mr. 959, you're set.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
You and G-Breaker. Also, how hard do you guys nerd out when you're on an airplane that you've flown in sim before and you're like, oh, I know what's going on. I get so excited. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all this stuff I learned with video tutorials on YouTube. There's tons of good stuff out there.
Number 1748 on Bravo for April 2.
1748, taxiing via Bravo.
For 1748.
What? This little guy is going to push this big effing plane back? Seriously? Yeah, go ahead.
So connected and bypass pin and survey. Release parking brake.
There you go.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
To start the engines, you need to build duct pressure inside the air system. So you're going to turn the packs off. And you can see the duct pressure just shot up down here below it.
And then Alpha to Alpha Echo.
And then start the engines. We're going to start engine number 2 first. Switch that over to ground. And you can see the N2 is rising down here on the MFD. %, you can turn the fuel on.
Ground on course 3125, ready for push and start.
On course 3125, push and start your discretion.
Push and start our discretion, 3125.
Here we go. That's engine gen on the right side.
It'll be Bravo, Alpha, Alpha Echo.
Switch that starter to continuous.
Okay, copy that.
Switch to engine number 1 and then start that one.
Alpha, Alpha Echo for the DI. Medic 121.
Flight Deck 2 Sim is really good for the 737. He has some good tutorials. He's a real 737 pilot, and that's how I learned the Zebo.
20 via Victor, Bravo, Bravo 4. Contact tower holding short of the runway.
McFadderson. How you doing, buddy?
Okay, Victor, Bravo, Bravo 4, and we'll contact tower there for the backtrack, 143-125.
There we go. Both engines
Operation
are on.
complete. Set parking brake.
There we go. So packs can come back
Disconnecting
on.
tow. Stand by.
Turn off the isolation valves. Kill the... Double check. Engine gen is on. Kill the APU. APU bleed off and engine bleeds on. Duct pressure back up. Window heat can come on. And I believe we got a cargo heat somewhere. Where's the cargo heat? Cargo heat, there it is.
Ground first 0959, ready to taxi.
First 959, ramp here.
Join the club.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
And first air 959, you can now proceed.
Doing flaps
taxi on to
15.
Victor, hold short of Bravo.
Okay, Victor, short Bravo, first air 959.
We'll do a little control check.
First air 959, taxi Victor, Bravo, and tower 1183 holding short of 20.
Okay.
And the only thing left on the
Bravo,
ECAS right
Tower,
now
short
is
first
parking
air
brakes. We're
959.
pretty much good to go. Once we get our little hand signal, there he is. Look at this guy. See ya. With the Boeings, to double check that your takeoff configuration is good, release the parking brake, bring your throttle, no alarms, which means that we're good for takeoff. Get our taxi light on.
Ground Jet 3. Russian 2644 ground, runway 24 right, information Whiskey altimeter 3020, taxi Bravo Charlie.
Double check.
Charlie 24 right, Whiskey
For takeoff, you need the auto brakes on RTO, which is rejected takeoff. So if you have a failure before V1, basically just gonna hit the reversers and slam on the brakes.
Once there, Encore 3404, follow that RJ 12 o'clock Alpha Hotel, the altimeter is 3019.
Follow the RJ Alpha Hotel on course 3404.
Tonight's beverage is wine. See? Every time I see this guy, he's drinking. Melon, you have a problem. Actually, yesterday I rode my bike out to an airport with a friend that's nearby. Drank a bunch of beers and watched airplanes all afternoon. That was a good time.
I looked at the wrong runway. You're going to 24, you make that Bravo short of Tango.
Okay, yeah, Bravo short of Tango on course 3404.
Encore 3519, right at Sierra.
This is a small airport. I think the runway's only 7 or 8,000 feet or something. So they have, saw some Airbus A319s, the 220 that I posted, and was expecting a 737 yesterday, looking at Flight Aware, but it never showed up. And a bunch of Cessna 172s just doing touch and goes all afternoon. I guess there's like a flight school or something there, and one of the guys, he had like a pretty rough landing. It looks like he stalled out and it bounced, and I was like, I've been there before. I've done that.
Right, Romeo cross 33 right.
Salt Lake City.
Bravo, Encore 3519.
I feel like I was just there. Well, I was just there. We flew there on Friday, didn't we? I like the mountains coming in, but this time we're just flying straight in. Winds are coming from the north.
Right, Jordan 7361, the wheels uptime's going to work out fine. Tower's 18.7 now.
18.7, that's the order.
WestJet 1203, you can keep it going. Romeo into the ramp, call 2227.
Romeo into the ramp over 22.7, WestJet 1203.
Let's see. Lights. Landing lights. Strobes. Turn the nose gear off because it'll turn off when we get in here. Transponder.
EC 4199 to Delta
TARA.
Romeo, call the ramp 2207. 2207.
Radios to tower. And departure control 123.9. Let's go.
67, wind 140 at 4 on departure, fly the 6, clear takeoff, runway 23.
Fly the 6, clear takeoff 23, Jet 867.
Envoy 3194, tower line up and wait runway 23 on departure, stop climb 3000, be a short delay. 3000, line up and wait runway 23, Envoy 3194.
Flight Store 259 to your right and ground the 1219.
What the hell is going on with the frame rate?
Flightworks 259.
So there's just like an update with the 767. I hope this is not an issue with the update.
28 Sunwing 561, good day.
Hopefully it'll get better when we get in the air.
Alexa 6266 exit right, Delta 4, cross runway 24 right.
Delta 4 cross 24 right, Alexa.
Just 4 tower number 2, 3 miles down to 320, wind 160 at 4, clear to land.
It's gotten better now. I don't know what that was about.
Jazz 867, contact departure 128.
Any Jazz 867 here. Morning arrive on by there, 715, level at 12,000.
Envoy 3725, Zulu 3019er, approach is 15 left, descend to 10, 10,000.
10 to 10, now we have Zulu and 3019 now. Ground point there.
Now things are going smoothly.
To 7353, descend to 6,000.
I'll turn the autopilot on now. There we go. Now we can enjoy some scenery. You didn't miss anything. Well, I don't know when they updated it, but earlier today when I loaded up to do the stream, I loaded the 767 and said there was an update, so I got that. Not sure when the update went live, though. Also didn't look at the change log. I have no idea what they fixed or changed. Heard good things about the 330. Above 10,000, we can turn off these lights.
3725. The vectors to Division 7353, descend 4000. Maintain 4000.
This is my favorite thing right here, flying through a layer of clouds. Here we go, boys.
Charlie, Charlie, descend to 6000. 6000, Delta Charlie. Cat 447, setting 180 to the 75 Alex 15 left approach. That 180, Alex 15 left approach. Tree contact arrival 12447. Arrival 2447, 33 minutes. Yeah. Charlie, Charlie, turn right now, direct to my side. Dash direct my side. Charlie.
They're the default clouds with Active Sky XP. Oh yeah, look at that. 2 layers of clouds. Get in there, fam. Holy moly.
Dash 67123, reduce 30 knot there for spacing.
Yeah, like the default clouds when you're up close with a layer like this, it looks really good. From far away, they're kind of eh. But I leave it just for that reason alone. Cotton candy.
7123, roger.
That's awesome. See ya.
Air 147, be cleared Christina via direct Sunset, correct, no wind, direct.
Okay, Air 147, that's cleared for Christina Lane by direct
Alright, how we doing? Oh, past our transition altitude.
No,
902. I don't know if you knew this, but if you click the top right screw on the altimeter, it sends it over to the first officer's side too. Still have to do this one, but
Air 5108, roger.
let's get some weather radar going too. We have weather radar on that side. Some airports. Yeah, baby.
Dash 67123, you're going to be in Sunset just a little early before the airspace changes. For now, re-cleared Christina by direct Sunset, correct, no wind.
Pre-cleared Christina Lane via Sunset direct, no wind, okay,
67123, that is correct. If you guys don't count there on the app, 1630 there, as soon as that hits, we'll be able to cut you some corner.
Copy that,
Ortho, yeah. Yes, sir.
Encore 3120, wind ready to 10
I like flying in regions with mountains with ortho. It looks really good.
One ready to 710,000, Encore 312.
Albuquerque. Like New Mexico, where we go? Utah, all that area looks amazing. Yeah, I know, man. It's pretty much one of the only games I play. This game, and I play Escape from Tarkov. That's pretty much it for me.
Encore 3120 is now India. Contact arrival 120
20.5 now for Encore 312.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am too. I'm afraid to look at my Steam account to even see though. That's kind of depressing. Like how many hours I've sat in this chair just flying imaginary airplanes. Still keep coming back too. No, this is zoom level 16 or 17, I think. It's they're the Fork Boy orthos. I've got all the Fork Boy orthos, and I've got some of the vertical simulations, like for Alabama and a couple other ones. What engines do you use when you're flying the 767 G-Breaker? Use the Rolls-Royce or the GE? When you're flying the 767, which engines do you use? The Rolls-Royce or the GE? And what I did for my hard drive situation, I bought a 4 terabyte external hard drive that's like USB 3.1. It needs to be USB 3.0 or higher just to get the transfer speeds right. And I put all of the ortho on the external drive. And then all the airports and other stuff that I have, that's on my SSD. Apparently, in real life, the Rolls-Royce engines, I think people kind of prefer the sound, but they did not do a good job, in my opinion, with the sounds in game. I don't like the Rolls-Royce engines for the flight factor planes. I don't use them on the 757 or the 767.
Echo 130, center go ahead. Echo 130, we just started up here in Conquest. Looking at the third runway 27, IR to Calgary. Echo 130, Bravo, we're under 60, Calgary, support, move back, flight 5 rings, mark 12000, mark road 4241. Echo 130, Bravo, 32, Calgary, contact current, move back. Echo 130, Bravo, first, back 150 or 160.
Alrighty, have a good one.
Air Canada 1187, contact center 135.2.
I'm sitting on 35 2, we're gonna eliminate have a good day.
was, sorry, for Romeo Kilo at 134.25.
3425 Romeo Kilo.
There we go, boys. Made it to the top of climb. 36,000 feet.
Jazz 500, one ready to send 3,000 and 180 Jazz 500, clear to these. Frederick Airport, contact runway 090.
So this is saying it is 036 Zulu right now. So about an hour until we're there.
Jazz 500, contact Frederick Tower.
128 Zulu, so a little bit less than an hour. What I can do, start setting up for the landing. Menu, FMC, index, approach. So we got, right now we're planning on, let me double check the weather, make sure it's still doing what we expect. Wind's still coming from the north, so still gonna plan on runway 34 right. So I've got the ILS frequency down there, 109.5. I need to put that in here. 109, come on, .5. And the approach course is 344 degrees. Now what else can I do for an hour? Let's look out the window. What a massive airplane, eh?
You climb flammable 220 and turn
Like, this is a legit flight deck. That is huge. We went from flying, yesterday I flew the Cessna 337. And going from that to a plane of this magnitude. Phew, boy. We talked about this before in the A320, like the difference between total air temperature and static air temperature, but this is pretty crazy. Right now, static air temperature minus 56 Celsius, total air temperature minus 27. That's crazy, almost a 30-degree difference. Forgot to turn our landing gear off. Yeah, that's wild. It's also crazy because typically when I fly home from here, a lot of times they fly over the North Pole, and the air temperature isn't that much different because you're still, I mean, imagine that there's so little atmosphere up here anyway. Are you flying the TBM? What's the maximum service ceiling? Is that 31,000? What's your ground speed? So, see if you can find static and total air temperature. I'm not sure if the TBM measures that. Them mountains over there, boy.
Center, good morning, Air Canada 663, 11.45, climbing to 230. Air Canada 663, Center Roger, continue climb flight level 280. Flight level 280, Air Canada 663. Jet 954, just keep you informed, there was a thunderstorm just moved through the vicinity of the Fredericton Airport. Current company traffic, Dash 8100 series, doing a contact runway 09. Winds are now seem to calm down a little, 310 and showing magnetic at 5 knots. Okay, we got there all that. We're going to lock and tail in here, 52 knots right on the tail. We're just making our way over towards it, and we might wait a few more minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes for the storm to pass. But when it's smaller, we get a little bit closer and see what we say. Jet 954, much. say again?
It's at 784 level 330.
Jazz 784, Roger.
A 72-year-old man's dentures got stuck in his throat during surgery and weren't discovered for 8 days, doctors say. He returned to the hospital 6 days later complaining of blood in his mouth and difficulties breathing. How did that happen? What?
And Jazz 954, some more information for you there. Company traffic just in contact, no problem with the visual approach on the runway 09, reported by the aircraft. Okay, we copy that. Thanks so much.
There's a question. Like, maybe you're just in such poor physical health that all the changes in your body just, like, racked up to, like, poor life decisions. I mean, I guess that in general is a poor life decision.
Jazz 789, that's approved, flying 280.
Let's have a look and see where we at. Ta-da! San Juan National Forest.
Headquarters of 220 requesting aviation to 172 coming through.
We're 220, left heading 285, but the aviation is
Order 220, thank you.
Actually, here's something I could do during cruise. Let's try to figure out this mouse cursor situation. Maybe.
Jazz 954.
Capture mouse cursor.
Yeah, we'd like to enter a hold here, if that's okay.
Let's see. Where the mouse cursor at?
Okay, sir, there's a new weather special. Like I said, the weather is improving. It appears that the thunderstorm has moved.
It's still off.
I have a special 1407 if you'd like to copy that.
Okay, go ahead, the 1407.
Yeah, 1407.
Something to do with the scaling in game.
And 4 knots. So 250.
Force scaling?
4 knots. The visibility reported was 1 quarter statute miles in mist. There was some rain associated with thunder showers that's passed through. Ceiling 2,600 broken, 3,300 broken, ceiling 6,500 overcast. Temperature 28 dew point 20.
Again, the latest meter.
Altimeter in Fredericton 297.
Yeah, so I've got 1920 by 1080, but it says scale resolution is 1536 by 864. Should I force scaling? Let's click this. The stream ends. Sorry. Hang on a second.
Okay,
No,
would you
no,
like
no,
to still
no.
set up a hold where you are?
Just for about another 20 miles, we'll keep you posted, Jet 954.
That's 954.
Base canvas resolution 1920 by 1080. Output scaled resolution 1920 by 1080. But that's also what X-Plane is. What the fuck, man?
29070. 8,000 And Jazz 789.
Yeah, because I'm in the OBS settings and stuff. I click it here. You should see it now. I'm going to put it right on the PFT. Yeah. It's still showing up in the left, up into the left. Why are you doing that?
Jazz 789, I just want to confirm that your step on. You are good, climb, flight number 282. 130, Jazz 789.
I have no idea, man. I don't know what's going on. I'll mess around with it later. Although I keep saying that, but I
Jazz
don't.
789 on contact, Center 120.25, advise your heading.
20.25, Jazz 789, let's go.
See if we can get Salt Lake City Center.
Leave 767, continue to 760.
Still Denver.
Air Canada 663, contact Center 12712.
2712, Air Canada 663.
Jazz 954, we'd like to continue and continue for hidden camp.
Jazz 954, roger, continue to descend 4,000.
4,000, Jazz 954. Jazz 954, requesting a hold current position, left-hand turn.
Jazz 954, now launch.
It is like a big old banana.
And Bronco 3456, we get 070 heading.
Oh, should be getting close now.
Encore 3456, heading 070 is approved with Aviation.
Alright, 070, thanks on Encore 3456.
There we go. See top of descent now on the PFD over here. 80 miles.
Eva 767, continue descent 4,000. 4,000, plus that number.
Weather update here. Wind still 360, 8 knots, 10 miles visibility. Few clouds at 9,500. Temperature 29, 2.4. Altimeter 3010. So 34 right, the north cargo ramp is just at the end of that runway. So let's do a long landing. We got 12,000 feet.
Okay, get that out, thank you, and direct excellent course. Direct excellent course for 220.
Oh shit, guys, there's no DHL facility here. FedEx, USPS, and UPS. We done goofed.
Order 220, contact 120.25.
12025, order 220.
Pathfinder 05.
Whatever, man. I'm one of the bigger. Well, actually, I don't know. What kind of airplanes do you think they're flying in there?
Roger.
I actually looked up DHL's fleet to see what else they had. They've got a few interesting airplanes. Got a 410 LET.
Pathfinder 05. Pathfinder 05, so good day again. The Greenwood altimeter is 2982. 2982, Pathfinder 05.
You can. There's a program, I think you have to pay for it, that allows you to do a shared cockpit with somebody. Watched a couple of streams with Captain Canada and Jeff Fabiano where they did a shared cockpit together. It's pretty fun. One person does the radios, one person flies.
Again, and again, the altimeter in St. John, 2978, number 2 for the approach.
297, check number 2, continue with our hold alert.
Check, go.
Just come here, locally down.
Should see TOT coming up here on ours. YouTuber is Captain Canada. Captain Canada pretty much only flies tubes. He rarely flies GA stuff. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, he does a pretty good job of like explaining what he's doing. Oh baby! It's also his like his catchphrase. Jeff Fabiano also pretty good. wish X-Plane had like a really good 747. I'm kind of jealous of all the P3D guys, all the cool tubes that they have. I think Aiden bought the SSG 747, was not too impressed with it. Let me see if I can find it for you. Oh, here we go. They did one recently in May of this year in the 319. Here's one. The one that I originally saw was the 737 now. Let's see if I can find that one. Oh, yeah, easy. There's another one. That's the one I think I saw originally, the 737. We were talking about this the other day, how like it seems people who are interested in simulators of one type or another tend to gravitate towards others, and it's like he does like Jeff Fabiano does train simulator, like American truck simulator, farm simulator. miles, 35 miles. Let's see. Our initial approach fix. I'll just set the altitude there and then we'll intercept the ILS. We'll let the VNAV get us down, initial approach fix. $6,100. Which program? The shared cockpit thing? I don't really know how it works, but basically, if you both have the same aircraft, it allows you to both operate things independently on your separate computers. As you can see in there, obviously one person's flying and the other one's kind of doing the procedural stuff. We still got VNAV on. I'm just going to roll this down to 6,100, and that will get us all the way there. That's our initial approach fix, and we'll intercept the ILS there. There we go, Salt Lake City Center.
Chesapeake 33, climb up 360.
See if this is still on. Still expecting arrival at 128 Zulu. It is now 104 Zulu, so about 24 minutes.
November 650, Richard traffic level 410.
Alright, 650, Richard, I'm center grenade.
just get the control stick, not the pedals and stuff too?
025 heavy, flight level 370.
Alright, go there, try that, alright.
If you're flying with a mouse, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be night and day. If not just for immersion.
Jet 633, contact 101.
10 miles.
205,
I've got a T-16,000, another guy who is in our Discord who streams as well, Ither Flight, I think he has a T-16,000. McFaddy's got like a yoke and throttle quadrants, I believe. Or do you use a flight stick, McFaddy? I don't know if he's still out there. Nice. Yeah, that's what I've got.
Head 122, I have a slight change to your routing, advise Mr. Copy. Head 122, your correct control position direct to TSD, that's Tango Alpha, Sierra Tango India, direct to Erlock, currently changed. Head 122,
It looks pretty good.
position direct TSD, different Erlock, currently changed. Head 122, just confirm after Erlock, rest your currently unchanged.
Mamba Gator, how you doing?
Head 120, targeting.
Just in time for our arrival.
Aircraft 144, heading to American.
We are flying a 767 to Salt Lake City if you're just joining, and we just started our descent. Got our lever of shame deployed to slow us down a little bit. And we also realized airborne there are no DHL facilities here. So I'm just going to drop them off at the USPS and I'll sort it out from there.
Papa, India, Kilo, November, Alpha. Direct to Nico, as the clearance unchanged.
Okay, direct from present position to Takeoff Alpha, India, Kilo, November Alpha, then direct to Nico. Then on change on Nico 025.
Alright, so 025, gotcha. Canada 663, contact 1112805.
2805, Air Canada 663.
Take Jet 13, contact 1133495.
13495, Victor.
To be honest, like, there's systems that repeat in pretty much most airplanes. It's just a matter of figuring out what's where. It looks more complicated than it is. Like, if you first glance, there's tons of stuff going on up here, but really it's not. I don't know. Like, after you've been playing for a little while and you've watched some tutorials and stuff, you'll probably come back and be like, yeah, it really wasn't that difficult. Get our auto brakes on while we're thinking of it.
Canada 690, contact 11335. 33, Canada 690.
Yeah, I mean, find a plane that you want to learn to fly. Like, I'd say the 737 is probably the best tube liner for X-plane. Brandon, thanks for following. I thought that was like something going off in the cockpit. I forgot that I changed that noise. How did I get here? I don't know. That's a great question. Welcome. No, I mean search for specifically like. Let me see if I can find one. Flight deck to sim was a good one. Like I said, because he's actually a real 737 pilot.
Charlie Fox, Mike Golf Charlie Container, so it's 5147. 5147, Mike Golf Charlie, and we just took off take the
That's how.
St. John. Look for
Call me Quackity Jr. Thanks for following. Welcome.
Correction is clear to the St. John Airport by direct climb maintain 5000.
Here's an example. Well, no, this is PMDG. Let me see. X-plane.
It's 5147. Mike Golf Charlie, the design code change, 11 up 5000. Roger.
Here is an example. Jordy. It's a good one to get you started with the 737. Once you figure out how to start the 737, then a lot of the other planes kind of open themselves up too.
1500 to 5000 on sit off 23 takeoff.
KC3, Center, good morning. You're identified as vectors for traffic. Turn right heading 020, climb level 280.
020 and up to 280 on KC.
Check our weather. METAR right now in Salt Lake City, still winds 340, 9 knots, 10 miles visibility, fuel class 9,500, temperature 29, dew point 3, altimeter 3010. Watching some X-plane again, where were you? We missed ya. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3010 on the standby altimeter, so when we hit our transition altitude, I will remember.
Radio 18, 500, near South Field West.
Identify 4, what's your request approaching break?
Visual back up the island for 09.
Identify 4, Roger, and proceed direct to Med 2.
We'll proceed to Med 2 now for Jazz.
I've got VNAV on, and we're on a star, but looking out the window kind of makes you feel a little sketch, seeing those mountains coming up here. And we're on the descent profile. So make sure things are set up for landing. Decision height 200, that's already set. We've got the ILS frequency down here, 109.5. Approach course is 344. So pretty much the VNAV is going to get us all the way to our approach, and we'll just turn on the approach button.
KC3, continue right turn, direct right, hold on course.
Direct right call on course for KC3, thank you.
And now here we'll get our VREF speeds in approach. We'll do full flaps, so 30 degrees, 140 knots.
Identify 4, towers approved the 09 approach, descent 4,000 by the tail pipe.
Well, I can tell you.
Identify 4, confirm descending 4,000.
We're sitting at 4,000 for Jazz 951.
Saying 126 Zulu, the current time is 114 Zulu. It's about 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Sorry to keep you up. Nice. Infinite Flight. That I've seen that on Steve01 Knievo's channel. I think his TBM 850 is in the game, isn't it?
Level 360, Jazz
Jordy is in the Netherlands. Our Dutch friend, new Dutch friend. Coming up on our transition altitude. We'll go ahead and switch over to local barometric pressure 3010.
280.
Canada 663.
It is 10 a.m. for me. We all over the world.
Contact center 12712, so long.
Where are you at? Call me Quacky.
2712, KC3, bye-bye, sir.
Again, looks like we're gonna do like thread the needle between these mountains. Oh boy. I live in the south of South Korea.
12805, so long.
2805, good morning, Jet 79.
Nice. We got Canadians, Fatty's American, we got Dutch. All nerds.
Falcon Encore 345, File 250, construct unit to the RNAV 24.
Encore 3456, center, good day, proceed right to take.
Unit tax on code 3456.
Could do, yeah. But I don't have any ortho scenery there, so it would just be the standard X-plane stuff. Which looks like hot vomit after you get used to ortho. How long of a flight is that in real life?
Air Canada 663, contact center 12712, so long.
Montreal Center 12712, or sorry, 12712, Air Canada 663.
1 hour and 50 minutes. Here we go. I'll have to do another 737 stream for you soon. Also get the Zebo. It's the best. Alright, we're about 40 miles out. I'll switch it over to approach control. And put tower on standby, 118.3. Try to deal with it. So, like, unfortunately, last Friday we did the 737 and didn't have any failures. It was the first one where it didn't. The rules are, I guess, basically that I either have to arrive at the airport or have a landing that would be survivable, not hit like trees or cars or buildings or something. How about them views, baby? So Salt Lake City Airport should be up there somewhere. Go ahead and get our external lights on. Yeah, essentially ortho scenery is you take satellite photos and elevation data to make like a high-res terrain picture. So this is all like real satellite photos. Above maybe 4,000 feet AGL, everything looks really good. When you get a little closer, it gets a little muddy, but you know. Yeah, well, I'd have to have ortho scenery there. I only have ortho in the U.S., in a few places in the Caribbean, and a little bit in Alaska, unfortunately. We'd love for you to join us next plane.
3725, left turn to Myra.
Left turn to Myra.
10,000 feet, we can need to slow down to 250 knots, so we'll probably have to put the spoilers out here in a second. Here we go. later, call me back. Thanks for stopping by.
3461, descend to 6,000 and direct my tuck. 6,000 my tuck, Encore 3461. The Charlie Charlie, contact arrival 12447.
2447, Delta Charlie Charlie.
Boy 3725, reduced now further.
Ortho scenery is, it just basically means you take satellite images and overlay them on like a terrain mesh.
Boy 3725, descend to 8,000.
8,000 on Boy 3725.
Yeah, there's like, I think a section for mods and downloads and stuff on the Discord. Pretty much usually when people find something good, they just post it there to share with everybody else.
Boy 3461, descend to 5,000.
Alright, we are turning on final approach here, so I'm gonna...
Terrain.
Yeah, that's right.
South Georgia 7353, fly heading 180.
We go vertical speed mode.
Left approach.
180 is Separate Island, 15 left, sir.
Canada 1120, altimeter is 3019 to Zulu, runway is 15 left, fly heading 190, intercept the local
Yes, you can.
and speed 200 knots.
190 heading.
And it's
200 knots,
pretty
intercept
fun.
localizer.
First Alpha Charlie, Charlie, turn left heading 240.
Left. 240, Delta Charlie Charlie.
So where the white line starts to get dotted here, we should be able to intercept our ILS frequency, and that will be the final approach for us. 334 right.
Car 3461, turn right 10 degrees and descend 4,000.
Right turn, 10 degrees, down to 4,000 feet off for 346.
Sometimes though, you can get on at certain times and there's no controllers online, so you don't really have to worry about it.
Canada 1120, descend 5,000.
5,000 Canada.
Yeah, exactly. No one gets X-plane and like, oh, I know how to do everything immediately, unless you're a pilot in real life. It's part of the fun is getting a new plane and learning how to fly it. So I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach, which we should pick up soon. Just click the approach button here and you'll see we already got the localizer. That's going to get us on the runway heading, and you can see the white down here on the PFD. It says GS. That means it's armed, but we have not captured it. So we're still on vertical speed. Get a little bit closer, then we'll capture the glide slope, and that'll bring us all the way down to the runway. Well, it's 10:30 a.m. I probably got to go do some real life stuff. What the hell is going on here with the throttle? The auto throttle is... What the hell? The auto throttle came off. That appears not to be working now. There we go. I was wondering why the nose of the plane was coming up.
On your arrival on Boise 775, descending 4,000, around 7,000.
Convoy 57.
Failure Tuesday. No, that was a pilot error.
Speed 190 knots.
At 4,000, speed 190 knots.
See, auto brakes are set. Working on our flaps here. And that should be our runway.
Car 3461, turn left, heading 240. That's our heading 240, corner 346.
Actually hold the altitude here, because you can see on the side of the PFD, the glide slope is above where we're at, that little magenta arrow on the right. So we'll hold the altitude here. When that comes down, that'll capture the glide slope. So we got alt hold on now.
Delta Charlie, Charlie, turn left, heading 180 to descend, let ILS 15 left approach.
180 to intercept the ILS.
We're going to switch it over to tower. 133.65 for ground control. A little magenta arrow on the right is coming down, so when that gets to the middle on the PFD, yep, glide slope is armed, so now we're descending for the runway.
April 7508, line up runway 23, keep that departing Delta 717 on site for official departure. Depart runway, or line up runway 23 and we'll keep that on site, April 7508. 7508, wind 1906, maintain visual separation, clear takeoff runway 23. 1906 will maintain visual separation.
I always feel like I'm forgetting something.
For 1695, line up 23, keep the departing Embraer site for official departure. I'll get you going right away.
Line up runway 23, we'll keep the Embraer.
Our approach speed for landing, VREF needs to be 140, which you can see down there on the PFD as well. We got 4, about to take the autopilot off here. See ya. Alright.
1459, call departure 1288, have a good flight.
288, speed up 1459.
Disconnect the auto throttle too.
1695, maintain visual separation, wind calm, clear takeoff, runway 23.
Clear takeoff 23 will maintain visual separation, route 1695.
Again, 1112, Charlie 4, Delta 4, right again Delta, call ground on 21-9.
Delta, Delta, again, 12.
Minimums.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide
100.
slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
50.
Glide slope.
40.
Glide
30.
slope.
20. 10.
Little floaty. I always do. I always like get below the glide slope with this airplane.
Aviation 508.
7339, good day, line up
Andy, thanks for the follow.
Up 23, Georgia 7339.
Basically turn around here. Taxis on, external lights off, turn the strobes off.
Decimal 8 airborne, clear takeoff, runway 23, good day.
28 airborne, clear takeoff 23, Georgia 7339.
Switch it over to ground and start the APU.
Runway at 832 and gate push start.
Sit 832 ground, push back, start your stroke.
West Jet 832, taxi.
Sit 832 ground, runway 31 to departure, altimeter 2995. Taxi via Victor, Hotel Charlie for runway 31.
Victor Hotel, Charlie.
Get it parked somewhere down here by the FedEx guys maybe, and I'll watch replay. These little baby airplanes over here.
Okay, ground perimeter trainer 7 at the dog leg for 36.
Trainer 7, roger, hold short of the dog leg.
Trainer 7. Ground perimeter 306, exiting off on Victor 8 for
306, taxi hotel leave.
3306.
Again, Air Canada 1172 is ready to taxi for 36.
1172, ground runway 36 for departure, altimeter 296, taxi via Victor, Hotel Charlie, cross runway 31 for 36.
36 and 2996 Air Canada 1172.
ass taxi. Yo, look who it is. We do have friends here. Got a parking space over there?
With the 66.
Negative.
And Winnipeg ground, good afternoon, Echo Mike Alpha.
And we'll just park it over here.
Come under the dog leg for taxi.
Echo Mike Alpha Medevac ground, runway 31, altimeter 297, taxi Charlie.
Okay, 2997, that's for Charlie, Echo Mike Alpha, can check with the priority on this departure.
Priority, all right.
It's another 767 too. He's got the winglets though. He's a fancy boy. Boop him. Give him the old boop.
Air Canada 1026 from ground. Yes, you can plan 31 for departure.
Okay, we'll plan runway 31 for the departure, Air Canada 1026, thanks.
I'll honk the horn. Let him know we're here.
Ground Northwest 793, clearing 36 for Juliet 18.
Northwest 793 ground, good afternoon, taxi Tango, Fox across runway 25, whiskey to the 8.
Northwest 793.
There we go. APU's on. The generator's already connected, so we can just turn that straight off. See ya. And we can get rid of our red beacon. We are done. Replay. A little bit of a crab going on there.
Caribbean 79, Charlie 4, Delta 4, Delta ground 21-9, okay. Charlie 4, Delta 4, Delta ground 121-9.
Apparently so. Didn't really feel like there was much of a crosswind, but I guess there's something going on there. Later, Jordy. Have a good one. There's just some serious flaps on this thing, eh? Get that rudder working. Wrong runway.
Whiskey, Lima, Romeo Papa.
Romeo Papa, departure 128.
So there's an update. Let me go back down to where we parked. I'll fast forward it and see if there's any engine shutdown noises. 'Cause I remember before, it sounded kind of shit when you turn it off. The sound just abruptly cut out. Where are we at? Down here? Super fast taxi. And, you know, I see Twinkie more than banana, actually. Give me some good shutdown noises, baby. Nope, still shit. And we'll leave it there. McFaddy, thanks for hanging out. Jordy, have a good one. Brandon, all you other guys, what else do we have in here today? Call me Quackity, you're all gone. Love ya. We'll see ya tomorrow, probably around the same time. Peace.